Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be taking up a very important topic related to CBSE 10th class and ICSE 10th class also. That is the structure of a nephron. Now, here in this video, I'll be drawing the diagram of a nephron. Simultaneously, I'll be explaining the structures and the functions which are performed by various parts present in the nephron. Now, starting off with the diagram of the nephron, the first part of the nephron is a cup-shaped structure which leads to a thick coiled tube and finally a very fine thin U-tube which will get attached to further a network of tubes. In this cup-shaped structure, we have a network of capillaries Now, this is a very simplified diagram of a nephron. In books, it's like kind of complicated where various capillaries and all are drawn, but still I am keeping it very simple so that whatever the main parts of the nephron are, they are very much clear to you all. Now, this is a capillary network which runs parallelly to this nephron. Throughout the nephron, it is running parallelly throughout the nephron and finally it moves out. Okay. Now, when we label the diagram, this first part, this tube is afferent arteriole. This is efferent arteriole. This tubular capillary network is glomerulus. This cup-shaped structure is Bowman's capsule. This thick tube is PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. This U-shaped tube is known as loop of Henle, and this tube is called DCT. These regular tubes are known as collecting ducts, and this tube drawn here with green is known as vasa, VASA recta, RECTA. Now, while explaining the structure, I'll be very precise and I'll be explaining all the parts one by one. Please do listen carefully. The first part, a very important part of nephron, is this cup-shaped structure here. Now, this cup-shaped structure collectively is known as Bowman's capsule. This I'll be taking up after this diagram, but first of all I'll explain this. This is a tube known as afferent arteriole which receives blood from renal artery. That is, the renal artery, it passes the blood which is rich in nitrogenous waste to afferent arteriole. From the afferent arteriole, the blood it enters the glomerulus. Glomerulus, what is glomerulus? First of all, it is a fine network of capillaries, and these capillaries are very permeable. They can sieve out the substance can filtered through it. For example, if you take a cloth, a muslin cloth or a dupatta and pour water dissolved with sand or something through it, the water will come out and the sand will remain up. Just like this glomerulus, it acts like a sieve, a filter. Now what will happen here? The blood from the afferent arteriole with a very high pressure will fall in glomerulus. Glomerulus, as its function is filtering, it will filter out the blood and Whatever is left in glomerulus is RBCs, WBCs, blood platelets, and some fibers. But all the liquid part, almost all the liquid part with important minerals as well as the harmful minerals are filtered out. This glomerulus does not know what is good, what is bad. It filters out everything, and it passes that filtered substance into the next part, that is the Bowman's capsule. Now this Bowman capsule, it receives a filtrate which has come from the glomerulus, which is very concentrated, but it's not urine. It is a filtrate which has almost all the harmful substances plus some of the very important useful substances which has to be reabsorbed back into the blood. Now, the process of filtration, this process of filtration is known as ultrafiltration. What is ultrafiltration? The filtration of blood under a very high pressure in Malpighian capsule. Why Malpighian? Now, till now I have not used this term. Why Malpighian capsule? Because till here, all this, that is the afferent arteriole, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, all this collectively is termed as Malpighian capsule. I will be taking up in after this diagram. Now, what is ultrafiltration? Once again, the filtration of blood under a very high pressure in Malpighian capsule is known as ultrafiltration. Now, after ultrafiltration, the filtrate which is here in Bowman's capsule is known as glomerular filtrate. This glomerular, now what will happen to the blood which is left? The thick blood which is left. That thick blood will start moving in the from the efferent arteriole into this blood vessel, capillary of blood vessels known as vasa recta. This vasa recta, it flows parallelly to whole of the nephron because the process of reabsorption has to take place from the urine to blood. These two tubes will lie in very close vicinity to each other. Hence, whenever the substances they have to be absorbed from the blood, they will move from the blood to the PCT, move from the PCT to the blood vessel very easily. That is why this vasa recta runs parallelly through the nephron so that the exchange, the reabsorption of substances can take place easily. Now what will happen here? The blood, now what is happening? The blood comes in glomerulus, filters out, the leftover blood passes to efferent arteriole and it is passed to all of the parallelly through the nephron in vasa recta, whereas the filtrate which is there in Bowman's capsule, it will move to the next level, that is the PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. In PCT, what will happen? The reabsorption of water and sodium and chloride ions will start taking place. That is, if this glomerular filtrate, it has excess of salts and water, these excess of salts and water will be passed into the bloodstream in vasa recta, and whatever, if some amount of harmful substances are left in blood, that will be reabsorbed in PCT here by the process of diffusion. That is why these tubes are running parallel to each other. Now, after this reabsorption, the blood will now move to loop of Henle. In loop of Henle also, the reabsorption of certain substances which are there, which are useful, minerals and all which are useful, are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. Then is the DCT, a very important part of nephron. Full form is distal convoluted tubule. What will happen in DCT? It's a separate question, a very important question, that how the process or where does the process of osmoregulation in kidney occurs. Osmoregulation occurs in DCT, distal convoluted tubule. First of all, what is osmoregulation? Osmo means water, regulation. Osmoregulation, regulation of water content in the body is known as osmoregulation. It is done in DCT. How is it done? If in the body the water level rises, a message goes to pituitary, that we will take up in next video. The message goes up to pituitary and pituitary starts secreting a substance known as ADH. anti-diuretic hormone. This hormone has been explained in one of my videos relating to endocrine glands, pituitary glands. It's explained there. This ADH hormone, it makes the walls of DCT permeable for water, more permeable for water. Now what will happen here? If suppose, now two cases are there. Suppose body is having more water and there is less water in urine. So what will happen? The body's water will be reabsorbed into the urine so that the body's water becomes balanced, and in urine the water is passed out. But if in urine water is more and in body it is less, it will occur vice versa, that the water will be passed into the